My name is Alaa Jazaeri. I'm a DJ and producer based in Riyadh. I've been living here for 4 years. I founded Narrative Music 4 years ago. That was the platform that I put so much love into it, and luckily a lot of people resonated with it. It's my take on music, it's my philosophy on music, and it's my baby, and I'm proud of it. And I have the pleasure that a lot of people have helped me building it, starting from Narkbeat, who was with me in the early stages, supported a lot. And now with partnered up with Mustafa Ismaeel, a close friend and a mentor as well. So yeah, that's I'm in a nutshell. Away from music, I'm a family guy. I'm married and I have 2 lovely kids, alhamdulillah. And for me, music is what I live for. It's because it's not only music. Music is it's what makes life possible. It's how you can channel your energy and your thoughts into something above yourself. So I'm lucky that I'm in this business and I'm pursuing it. The thing started 4 years ago, and like maybe 2 years before I started, things were happening in Saudi with big festivals and so many underground parties. And I think that time, that exposure inspired me and maybe inspired a lot of people as well. So a lot of ideas start to pop in my head as to, how about, why no one plays that sound? How about, approach journeys in a different way? The question that led me to think that I need to explore myself. So when COVID hit, and then I was just started to learn, I found a lot of time on me at that time, and started, mixing, not even on decks. I was in the kitchen, with my wife, had record box, and was downloading music, have fun with them, and then started recording sets. I started to send mixes out, and then I was really stunned with the feedback. I was just, a humble aspiring DJ, put my music out there, and I found it resonates with a lot of people in the local scene as well as globally. So here, I thought, okay, I may have something special to offer, and I went for it. Basically, ever since, it's been hard but lovely work as well. Like, I put a lot of hours into music daily. I do it with passion and love. I dig for good music daily. I spend time in the studio whenever I have the time. So yeah, 4 years later, here we are now. I think I'm comfortable with where I have reached. Played in the biggest and the most important events in the country. Built a really beautiful connection with people. Yeah, this is in a nutshell my 4 years time in music. Well, to be honest with you, I think it's just you discover a hidden talent, if you wish. Like, I never before that knew that I had a musical ear and the ability to feel the crowd and vibe with the crowd. Like, DJing is a communication between the DJ and the people, and if you understood them right, and then you have the right music for that moment, and then you sense them, I think this thing makes wonders. So I think like my musical ear, in addition to my, I would say, social skills, like how I can understand people, how I can empathize, or I can feel them, what I feel works for that moment, and why, a lot of ideas come to me when I'm playing. Maybe I can't explain them all into words, but I'm in my element behind the decks, and I feel like I know exactly what to do at that very moment. I think this has been helping me to reach where I am now. When I started DJing and making music, I was in the advertising and events field. Like, I had my corporate job, but at one point there was a time where I just felt like, that music is my purpose and creativity is my purpose, and I wasn't very happy at work, and like, luckily I got a residency that allowed me to feel like now I can maybe quit work now and focus on music. So I've done this journey for a year and a half, where I was like full-time artist. It was a very rich journey, and it helped me developing as well, of course, with all this time that I spent on music. But at the same time, it was a challenging one, to be honest with you. By the end of the day, I am, I'm not on my own. I have my family and everything, and I felt like maybe I can get a job again and then try to work on a better balance where I can still do music, still do corporate, because that will also give me the freedom to be selective about my gigs as well. Because I feel like, it's nice to have this option and not only doing it for the money. So I went back. It's been a year when I went back to corporate. I have to say it's very challenging to keep up with everything. Like, put 8-9 hours with work, put 4 hours on music besides my family. But it is a challenge, and it's a nice problem, to be honest with you, because I do feel motivated. I think, one day I'd like to go back to being a full-time artist when I feel like, we have developed our platform further. But for now, I think I'm lucky where I am with everything. Well, preparing for my sets and for my gigs and live shows, basically, I'm from that school of DJs that like to come prepared. That means I come with a playlist. I create a playlist. I'll throw 100 tracks in it, but because before I start the playlist, I imagine the gig, and I imagine the crowd. Like, I know what kind of crowd is gonna come here. I know how the venue is. Is it outdoor? Is it indoor? Is it warehouse? So with all this information in my head, I'm able to choose the right music for the gig. So I do a playlist, and that's number one step in preparing for it. And then I look at the playlist. I just start looking at it, start imagining what could be the start, what could be something in the middle, what kind of idea I want to execute out there, what kind of emotional journey I want to do, when do I what are the tools or tracks that will make me peak, and like a sort of build tension, what are things that I can use for an emotional break or for a release. I usually like to come with ideas. Now, obviously, the ideas that you have in your head are not necessarily going to work, and here's that flexibility is very important for artists to read the crowd, to read the room, and like give it what you think it's the right music for the right time, for the right place. But luckily, I don't know, I think I have a good ability to read the crowd before I see them. It depends on the lineup and who's playing before me or after me. Like, it's nice to go with ideas on my head. And I think that is my approach. It's been serving me, and I'm happy with it. But I also like challenges. I like sometimes when I go and I feel like whatever I had in mind is not going to work. I feel also thrilled from this of like, you know what? Do something, improvise with something completely different. That also is different type of fun. But I do look at, I'm a professional DJ. I look at gigs as a professional thing. It's like a job, and I like to honor it and prepare for it and give some time and love into it before I get there. So that I quite enjoy this. Well, I'm going to answer this question and put it into two parts. First part, actually, it's my childhood and my upbringing. I feel this is the most important part because this is what shapes your preference in music. This shapes to what extent a certain sound resonates to you. So you see, my mom was a pianist, and so her music and what she listened to was always soulful melodies. So that is actually, I think, the biggest influence on me. And at the same time, I grew up with diverse music, from pop to rock, alternative. So I think, especially the rock in my teenage years, I think this also influenced me a lot. Now those are the music that impacted and created my musical souls, if you will. However, when I got into this type of music, into house music, etc., I have to say, it was probably even easy to answer this question. The three artists, I feel like they had the biggest inspiration on me. It was first Mustafa Ismaeel. I think when I listened to his music and the way he mixes, I felt like I got into this from the beginning. I was very much drawn into this. Armin Miran, I was a big fan of the way he mixes, the way he builds journeys, the eclectic artist he is. And Nick Curley. Nick Curley is obviously everyone. It's a very known producer. He's been doing it for a while with the best labels, with the best events in the world. So, and I think these three really formed how I love being an eclectic artist and how I love to play between genres and how I like to mix genres in order to achieve a journey that I have on my mind. I was also lucky that I have shared the decks with the three of them. Even with Mustafa and Nick Curley, booked them in narratives, and we built that relationship together. It's something that I'm quite proud of. So narrative started where I was putting mix out there on SoundCloud, recorded set, and I thought at that time I had a particular sound and a particular style of building the journey, which was really about storytelling. I think that was actually drawn me to this music, the storytelling part. So I thought, okay, since I'm recording sets, I might as well create a series or a podcast. So I came up with a name through some inspiration. And narrative came, and I started doing chapter 1 and chapter 2. I got chapter 3 out there. It went viral in the city, and everyone was talking about it and telling me about it. So I felt, okay, whatever I have in mind has a potential. And then when we saw that, okay, that brand now stands for particular music and stands for a certain way of approaching music, and people are liking it, we thought, okay, let's turn it to event. And it's probably the only brand in Saudi that started on SoundCloud and went to events, and that tells you something, tells you that you can start something small and goes into bigger things. I partnered up back then with Darkbeat. We've done amazing events that we both felt proud of. Now I'm working also. We have partnered up with Mustafa Ismaeel just to take this brand into another level. He's a close friend and a mentor for myself, and it means a lot to me to work with him. And he believed in it, and he encouraged me from the beginning, and I was very happy to continue the journey with him on this. So we started doing events now in Canada, and in addition to the events and the showcases that we do in Saudi. So Narrative is beyond, it's a music brand, it's not an events brand only. Events are part of it, but the essence of what we do is the music itself, the way we curate our sets and curate our music, the way we choose local and international artists. Now we saw that, last couple of chapters, I had really amazing artists jumping on board, like kind of charting producers. And we have so many plans to make it focused on music and the way we see music. So it's not a commercial brand as much as it's like a music brand that we feel proud of, and we also believe that success comes from, you know, developing this product, this baby, and nurturing it with so much love and passion. I feel like we can go places. And the narrative was also, it was a platform that it's within the art itself. So it's not only music. From the very, very beginning, the idea was any music we work on has to be accompanied by a visual or a painting or a visual art. So as you can see, I'll show you later the collection in my studio. We have amazing original pieces from many local and international artists. So we felt also that was a little bit unique to narrative, how it can involve the other talents in the art and the creative scene, and not only underground music. So basically, that symbol, the hand, which we have now developed it further, we gave it a twist in our new logo. Khumsa, or the hand, is a symbol that is very close to me. See, I'm originally from Algeria, and Khumsa is a symbol that you find heavily in our culture. You'll find it literally in every house, you know. You'll find it on the door, and it's an ancient symbol, really, that stands out for fighting the evil eye or the negative energy. It's also mystical, it's mysterious, it's deep, and I could identify myself and music through this ancient symbol. And so yeah, I mean, when I started narrative, it was very easy for me to pick up this symbol without thinking that would be the icon for this brand. And then later, when we did the new rebranding, we thought, okay, you know what? Let's give it a twist. Let's show the development. So it went from Khumsa to on point kind of direction. Same eye, same hand with an eye, but we give it a more modern twist. Yeah, that's the story. So I feel like, stepping into new sounds for me is not something that I plan. It's something that I find myself doing. For me, since day one, I was always a firm believer in not limiting myself into one style and one genre. I think to start with, I can find way more beautiful music if I expanded my selection into different genres to start with. But I always feel like there is a sound, and there is if you want, genre or anything that serves a certain time and place. And I'd like as a DJ to go with my tools that help me capturing that moment, capturing that lineup, that crowd. Sometimes even if I'm playing for 1 hour set, you'll find me throwing 3, 4, 5 genres. I don't feel it's I feel, if anything, it enriches the aspect of building a journey. When people start noticing the difference between one vibe and you stepping into another, I think that will make that's a vibe that I like to create. So no, there is nothing that I want to get into. I'm already exploring a lot of things, but it's natural for any DJ to change every now and then. Whatever I'm playing now is not what I played 2 years ago. And for me, it depends on the music that I find or produce. That would be the next sound that I would want to play. So the way I see this is that as an artist, you can still deliver your sound, your quote-unquote emotion into different genres. Like I can play my core sound, whether it's in a minimal format or in a melodic format or a housey format, you can still find your vibe and sound in every genre. So I feel like I don't want to play something that is completely not me. All the music that I like and download are my music, and I like them, and they define who I am. I like playing motion music, soulful one, and yes, there are two schools. What we call it. There's eclectic artists. I like to jump around between genres, still having their fingerprints on the music. It's still them. It's still their vibe. There are purists. Purists like to stick to one genre, like be a techno, minimal. I just only do that. I also respect their choices of doing that, but I'd like to keep things more on the diversified and more eclectic side of things. I think anyone who thinks that they would love or they can become a DJ, in the beginning, obviously, it's all about music. You need to download music and then be in that discovery phase and understand what is it that you like and what kind of direction you can bring forward. Because it's nice to walk having an ideas and having sense of identity as to what are you going to offer as a DJ. But at the same time, I would add one thing is that be honest with yourself. Like, you're gonna give it a try and people are gonna listen to you, friends, people, whatever. If you feel like you have it and, it's resonating with people and you have this ability, then I would say go full force into it, and when I say go full force, like, be professional about it and spend enough time digging for music, working on yourself, working on your sonic identity, work on your content, present yourself to the world the way you would like, the way you have in your head. So basically, I feel like, sometimes wanting to be a DJ is not enough, but you also need to have both the talent and the hard work. And also, like, whenever you feel not fairly heard or seen, always focus on putting music out there. We live in a digital era where there's so many platforms. Put your music out there, believe in it. Focus on building a meaningful connection in the scene with people, with promoters, etc. This is, I feel, it's also part of, can be part of the success story.